It's easy to think that money problems are strategy problems. I've worked with people professionally for over a decade on their next level of well being, including financial. And I found that many assume that they need a better plan, a smarter strategy, more discipline, or a different mindset. And what's interesting is that most of the people I work with already know the strategies. They know how to earn, they know how to save, they know what they should be doing. What they don't understand is why, when money pressure shows up, all of that knowledge seems inaccessible. That's where this conversation actually starts. Money is one of the most reliable pressure environments modern human beings live in. It compresses time. It raises stakes. It brings visibility and consequence into the body all at once. And under pressure, the nervous system doesn't pause to consult a strategy. It organizes. It does what it has learned to do to stay intact. You do not rise to the occasion when pressure hits. You fall to your level of training or conditioning. And that organization is what ends up driving your financial behavior. Now, before I go further, I want to give you a simple way to personalize all of this information. Different nervous systems organize differently under pressure. Some push, some adapt, some think, some attune relationally to others. In our work, we call these different pressure strategies the warrior, the shapeshifter, the sage, and the asset. They are not personalities and they're not labels. They're ways that a system tries to stay coherent when something matters. So, if you're curious how your nervous system tends to handle pressure, because money is just one place that pressure will show up, and whether you default toward a warrior, a shapeshifter, a sage, or an asset, there is a short Somatic Skins Quiz assessment linked in the description below. It won't tell you exactly how to make money. It will show you how your system organizes when the heat is on, which is what money keeps revealing anyways. So you can take that quiz, come back, and listen to the rest of the video. Now let's come back to the core topic at hand. Money doesn't introduce new behaviors. It amplifies existing ones. When income rises, when you have to price your services, when a decision carries real consequences, your nervous system defaults to whatever strategy has helped it survive pressure before. That might look like pushing harder. It might look like hesitating. It might look like overthinking. It might look like over-adapting to others or culture. And none of those responses are random. None of them are moral failures. They're capacity issues. When pressure increases faster than capacity, the system will tighten, collapse, spin, or even disappear in really predictable ways. People experience this as procrastination, self-sabotage, avoidance, impulsive decisions, or repeating the same financial patterns over and over again. But what's actually happening is much simpler. The system is being asked to hold more than it currently can. This is why so much typical money advice doesn't work. It assumes that if you give someone the right idea, they'll execute it. But execution doesn't live in the mind. Under pressure, execution, the ability to do what we know, lives in the body, in the breath, in our posture, in our attention and focus. Our identity will either stable or wobble, and by the time you're making a money decision, your nervous system has already taken a position. That's the moment most people never learn how to work with. They'll keep trying to change outcomes without changing the underlying system producing those outcomes. They earn more money and then they feel destabilized. They reach a new level and suddenly feel anxious, frozen, or overwhelmed. They wonder why success feels heavier sometimes than even scarcity did. From a somatic perspective, all of that makes complete sense. Scarcity might be familiar pressure. Growth is novel pressure. And novel pressure exposes the limits of coherence much faster. This is why people often will say things like, I don't know why I keep hitting the same ceiling, or I always seem to fall apart just when things start to go well, or I make money but I can't hold it. And those are not character flaws. They're signals that capacity hasn't caught up with demand yet. I call this the inner thermostat setting. And this series is all about naming this clearly. I don't want to give you tactics. I don't want to tell you what to do with your money. But I do want to help you understand why your body keeps deciding before your mind does and why strategy alone can't override that. Each video in this series will take one common money problem: receiving revenue, pricing, risk, decision paralysis, discipline, visibility, and we'll look at it through the lens of pressure and capacity, not as pathology, as physics. Because when capacity increases, money stops being the loudest signal in the system. Decisions will get cleaner, movement becomes more reliable, not because you forced more discipline, but because your nervous system can finally hold what you're asking it to carry. You've shifted the inner thermostat. If you want orientation to how your system tends to organize under pressure, remember to take the Skins Quiz assessment linked below. Just consider that the start of a deeper conversation with your psychosoma, your body and your mind. And then if you actually want to build the capacity that all of these conversations, this deeper body of work points to, this is the exact work that we do inside of the Prestige. And you're welcome to join us for a season. Remember, money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies, it reveals what your system can handle. And that's the conversation that we're going to keep having. If you, like us, dig this, then keep joining us for this series and consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps us out a lot, and we enjoy doing this with you. Till next time.